Hey there, it's Chanel and we're back in the studio. This time we're working on a portrait of Sabrina as a part of the Quarantine Self-Care series. As you can see here, I've done the outline of her portrait in purple, and I'm now using that as a map to trace out eyes and lips on a separate sheet of paper that I'm going to color in to start adding that rich sense of color and depth to these parts of her face. The eyes and the lips are such important parts that help you see and talk and do all the wonderful things, so I like to make them super colorful and super detailed. As you can see, I decided to fill in all the good stuff with marker. There are tons of colors and shades that I'm using. And I've also tested out a lot of them before I start to layer them together to build the depth in the mouth and the eyes, just like in real life. People don't realize how many colors it takes to make up all the features of your face. So once I have those fully colored in, the next step for me is to take some glue, brush it on, and then slap on the eyes and the lips. This portrait was made in partnership with the Harvard Ed Portal. From K to 12 education and family programs to opportunities for digital learning, career development, personal wellness, and the arts, the Harvard Ed Portal provides resources to support and enrich the lives of many, especially for those in the Allston-Brighton area where their facilities are located. As an artist, Sabrina has a big focus on using art and design to bring people together and help them connect to each other. One of the ways she's been a positive influence on the Harvard community is through her mural work, via Walls on Western with Zone 3, and creating a mural for the winter market that was accompanied by postcards of graphics that she had made. Ultimately, her work is very joyful, and I think that a lot of what is noticed through interacting with her as a person is also present in her work. There's definitely almost like a quiet joy and an insightfulness and a sense of warmth that she evokes, even though her color palettes tend to be in the cool toned space. In terms of what's happening in the studio, you can now see that I've started to work on the flesh of Sabrina. I like to start off painting flesh with highlights or the lightest color, where the light is hitting the peaks of the face. For her portrait in particular, I'm using 3 different tones of brown. So there's that caramel color for the highlights, deeper tone, and then we have a darker tone to catch those shadows. Don't underestimate the variety in the melanin, folks. Because I'm trying to retain somewhat of a graphic quality for this portrait, you'll notice that I'm not doing an abundance of blending. I'm making a point to have the different shades of brown kind of stand out and make their own exclamation marks, you know? Overall, I feel like it's looking good so far. One of the things that I found really exciting about working with this plastic tablecloth is just playing with the layers and having fun with the transparency. Depending on how you stack stuff, you can see different patterns and colors. So I'm capitalizing on that here via collage, where I have drawn some blue marker on some blue paper and cut it out as a way to enhance the outlines of Sabrina's shirt. The outlines securely glued down. Of course, we had to continue to add to her shirt. I cut up some rectangular strips of a different pattern paper so we can get that together. And of course, the greatness is in the details of the hair, so you can see me adding some highlights and some shadows to her hairline. I I mentioned earlier that Sabrina typically includes very cool tones in the color palette of her work, so I decided to emulate those tones in my choices for the composition of her portrait. So you can see that we have some teal, some pastel purples, some funky greens, and some sunshiny yellows and pinks. When thinking about composition, I also was really intentional about trying to find abstract ways to depict some of the things Sabrina mentioned about what self-care looks like for her at this time. One of the things that she brought up was trying to mix together a multitude of things that would provide her with fresh breaths in order to face the future. For her, some of those things included therapy, spending time with her partner, loving on her dog, and skateboarding. So we got those rays of support in yellow from her therapist surrounding her face. We've got the purple orbs representing some skateboard forms, and both the floral and bubbles speak to the love and support from her partner and her dog. And there you have it, folks. Here's the completed image of Fresh Breaths, a portrait of Sabrina.